First of all, let's look at some of the folks that Trump has fired. Here are 8 examples of Democrats in independent federal agencies under a former Supreme Court ruling. It's listed there. A president could only terminate them if they did something wrong, for-cause firings. These people were fired by Trump for no cause whatsoever. I can't emphasize enough that this is the type of stuff that has never happened. At this point, to preserve time, I'm going to just show some slides here that are actually relevant to our discussion of the Federal Reserve. Back in the old days, Democrats and Republicans had a certain level of civility, and true patriots understood that the two parties got along. I mean, they didn't treat the other as the enemy. They may have strong disagreements, but they weren't treated like they were the enemy. Trump has changed all that, and it's ripping this country apart. But now he wants to take the additional dreadful step of having Jerome Powell, the current chairman of the Federal Reserve, fired and or replaced by one of Trump's cronies. The Fed, when it was established back in 1913, was set up in a way so that it would not be a political football. But the bottom line is, if you have a president in control of monetary policy, the natural tendency is going to be to goose the economy before the election every time. The problem with that is that almost always it ends up being incredibly inflationary. And foreign investors and domestic investors who buy U.S. Treasury securities like a credible monetary system. And once it becomes a political football, all of a sudden the interest rates that are going to be charged and American borrowing costs that it pays on its bonds are going to go way up. Why? Because bond investor is not going to take a 5% bond in an unstable system. He may not buy that bond unless it offers 15%. We see Trump violating or wanting to violate previous legal precedent of the Supreme Court in order to expand his presidential power, and he got less than 50% of the vote to begin with. And it's just yet another example of a big-time power grab. And this would be clearly one of the biggest of all. In short, if he fires Powell, he should be impeached and convicted and thrown out of office.